Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Metal Shop Steve. Today, I'm very excited to have Sepsiss on the show.
What up, Steve?
What up,
Yeah,
Steve?
how's it going, man?
Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure.
Cool. Well, first of all, I've got to say that you guys are like true road warriors. You're just coming right back in from being out on the road, right?
We pretty much never stop playing, ever. All we do is entertainment and braids.
Pretty much, yeah.
She's not been doing anything.
We've
been playing. She's been braiding.
Nice. Well, I know that is like a fundamental of who you guys are as a group, being out there working hard, touring. I guess just tell me a little bit about that mentality.
Well, I mean, for us, we've been a band for 8 years. So, me and Melissa have had several versions of the lineup.
Like 28 plus members.
Yeah. so like just clunking around throughout the years and trying to figure out who's going to be a good fit, what we want to sound like. We wanted to take our time, and we kind of from the beginning we knew we never wanted to come out until we didn't want to reveal or present anything until it was appropriate, until it was, we had the right presentation, characteristically, sonically speaking. But being from 2011 when we first founded it, we knew that when we did come out, that we wanted to create the ultimate business card with our first presentation. So we know a lot of bands and people that are in other genres that we work with. We do a lot of features, and people are always doing this, I'm going to drop an album. You hear that term a lot. This album dropped, or he's going to drop a single, or someone's going to drop on their fucking head is where they're going to drop. There's a lot of dropping going on, and you know what I mean, and not enough lifting.
Right.
So I said we're never going to drop. We're not going to drop anything. We're going to continue to present. So instead of dropping, we wanted to have a movement that signified a forward motion, an upward motion that doesn't stop, that wasn't trendy, to not revitalize old metal ears, but to create new ones, right? And to create new conversations. We knew that it was important to sit back really and curate that and maintain that and build that. So by the time we presented it, characteristically speaking, it would create the ultimate business card. So that's the deal with the aggressive touring. We call it the wasp country because we don't pollinate. Bumblebees, they pollinate, they bumble around and do all kinds of sweet
pretty flowers.
They make pretty flowers.
Wasps don't do that.
Wasps don't do that. We can't. We set
build the hive.
Right. We set targets. We set goals. We kind of, we're very military around here. But that's a result of seeing a lot of unsuccessful people drop
and not push.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Cool.
It's about creating a business card, really.
And then for the
Worked
longest
out pretty
time,
well.
you always focused on live entertainment. We wanted people to go see us.
You know what, John, God bless you, he's right. He hit on something that honestly, the other side of the coin is physically, our performances are intense. So we had to build up those stabilizer muscles that Johnny's talking about. And it was important for us before we started recording and using all the tricks of the studio. It was important to us that we could play, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we see so many bands that we're excited about their music, right? And then we go to the venue and the singer's not quite what you thought. I mean,
Right,
when you hear Melissa, it's her. When you hear Cam, it's Cam. There's no smoke, no mirrors. And we didn't set out to be the best band in the world or everyone's favorite band necessary, but we wanted to be our own, and kind of create a lane for ourselves. And Johnny hit it right on the head. We wanted to make sure we could play the instruments. There's so many guys, even that with EDM and all the other different genres that are involved in metal today. And as you can see with Sepsiss, God, we touch on so many different things, right? But I think it's doing that gracefully, and earning our chops so many years, playing really fucking terrible shows was important. It really was important.
Doesn't everyone start out that way?
But the cool thing about us is we were terrible but likable.
Yeah.
So I mean, we luckily for us, well, we got a pretty girl too, so nobody wants to tell her to get the fuck off the stage.
It helps.
So that helped. But I play decent guitar. But we've had some funny guys in the lineup, you know, and some, you know, as a result, people's hearts not into it. You're so desperate to have that lineup that you pick non-quality members and you settle.
Just so you can play.
And then when is it real? You know, when is it real? When you have a title for it, when you have a color for it, when you have a logo for it, when you have a song for it, when you play the pool hall, when you have a t-shirt, when you have a sticker, when you have an LLC, when you have a Facebook page, when is it real, right? It was fucking real from the beginning. So we knew we were in trouble. We knew we were gonna have to bust our ass. So most bands get into this trying to lift 100 pounds. We knew we couldn't lift 100 pounds coming in, you know? And now, being too big for the pool hall, but too small for the stadium, we're just a band that knew that work ethic and developing those stabilizer muscles and building up that reputation. We've watched hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bands, probably more talented than us, fucking burn because they tried to lift 100 pounds. And we just, instead of lifting 100 pounds off the bat, I think we built those stabilizer muscles. And we built up a certain amount of conversations and respect, reputation, venues and promoters and people. And, you know, the other thing that I think that we've done that a lot of bands haven't done when it comes to why we are aggressive about the touring and about our PR. I think, you know, another thing is we came here to compete, Steve. You know, we ultimately we came here to compete. And we need to make that 100 pounds feel like 30 pounds. So something that's tough for someone every day, we need to make that, you know, we need to make that second nature. We need to make that autopilot.
Yeah.
So these guys here, they're built on lifting 100 pounds every day. So when it, you know, when it really, when it comes time to lift 30, shit, you know, but that's it, you know, and we work hard because the results, right? The results are fantastic. Working hard brings great results, and I think that's what we want here is to be happy with the results.
You know, you hit on a couple of really important things, at least in my opinion, about a really solid band. Is number one, being able to play this stuff live, because as you said, there are so many bands that people consider it to be great bands, but you get out there and see them live and they're just lackluster or something like that.
And then, game, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And then the other thing that you said that I really liked, and I was actually going to ask you about it, is, you know, you have all these great influences on each of you personally. And I think the difference between a great band and one that's just kind of getting along is one that's just getting along, they're trying to be somebody else. Great bands are the ones you can hear the influence, but they're their own band, I think.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Cam talks about this a lot. And we make jokes about, people always ask us how come you guys chose that name? Or at the time, all the bands that were coming out were like these novel names, as I like to call them, like oops, my mother fell down the stairs, or
Gateway to the end
right.
of all human
when
days.
Storms finally fall.
Right.
Someday when the drain is unclogged.
I wanted something a little easier.
So We wanted something really easy, and we realized that there was a bunch of foolish bands that probably named themselves after a disease. So we was like, fuck it, man. We'll just add an S to make it Google searchable. And win! There's the winner's circle and the loser's circle here.
It's one word, man.
But to get to what Steve was saying, it was identity. It was about what I was talking about before. It's ownership. It's ownership, and it's that sonic fingerprint that took so long. You know, a lot of bands come out and they're like, "Hey, fucking Dave, man, you know, now that we've made the CD, we got to try really hard to sound like the CD." With us, it was the opposite. It was like, how the fuck do we make this disc sound like we do live? And I think that, you know, that's what makes a really big difference in the integrity and in the relationship that we have with our fans. Is our fans play the disc and they go, wow, this is really great. But when our fans introduce new fans, they go, yeah, fuck all that. Have you seen them live? Yeah, but have you seen them? You know, like, I know them. I've seen them. And it's the personal connection that I think, the fact that we go live a lot on Facebook, on social media.
The social connection is huge.
A lot of people, you know, she's got a lot of friends and fans in adult entertainment. We got a lot of friends and fans in the video game community. She sponsors Immaculate Connection Gaming.
ICG.
So, like, a lot of those people, we're like the only band in the world where you don't really have to be a fan. You could be in it. You can be in the band, you know, and we will talk with you. And shit, there's enough of us to keep the conversation going. What do we have? We fired somebody the other day, but we have 17 staff members.
Wow.
Alone.
And a 6-piece band, so.
And right, not including the people who play instruments.
Well, I got a little excited at the start of our interview here today. I think we should back up a second and go ahead and tell people who you are in case they don't know your names. Let's just start out with you, William, and then head off to the other side of it.
I'm William Savant. I play guitars.
Melissa Wolfe, I sing vocals.
Johnny Impact, I play bass.
I'm Cam Loud. I do the loud guitars.
I do the quiet guitars.
Good. Glad I got that business out of the way before I forgot about it.
All
right, so
we could be a juggling act. Nobody would ever know.
Right.
So we covered the touring and that kind of thing. Let's talk about the songs a little bit now. Let's talk about, I guess, the creative process behind. We don't have to go through every song, but just some that maybe are more special to you or took a little bit more work, something like that. I see Melissa being pointed out for this answer. So.
She likes to avoid the technical shit. I'm not letting her get away with it. I'll give you 2 words. 3. Glenn fucking Robinson. No, honestly, first of all, I'm gonna have to. I'll relieve her because to start here just as a singer would be impossible. I think.
Yeah,
it's unfair.
Well, normally it starts with a basic guitar structure,
yeah,
and then we bring in the vocals. And
she's not even included.
Melody, and then me and Will
really
need to go back to that after and make the guitar metal, but not fuck up the singing.
Right, a lot of people are always like, okay, like before we do anything intricate, and most super metal people they hear Sepsiss and they go, oh, I can fucking eat that for breakfast, you know, and then they'll come and practice with us and realize that it's a little bit more difficult than they thought. And that's because of some of our poly layering, and we use conical rhythms, and we use a bunch of
jazz chords
and hip hop stuff, R&B stuff, and of course we got a fucking keyboard player, so we cheat.
Yeah.
But you know, having 6 guys on stage, he's in here too. Come here, hold on. He's hiding because.
I don't know where I'm looking at. Oh, right here.
Because we can't see ourselves, but you can see us.
That's
I'm
our
in the background.
He's going to the studio. He also has a rap studio.
Toy Box
YHL. So he records rap artists. So that's where he's going.
Nice.
Yeah.
So where was I? Oh, so before we add anything technical, we write all of our music folk style. Literally acoustic guitar and just a voice. And very rarely any lyrics.
Yeah, mostly humming.
It's kind of just humming and goofy country chords and stuff. The song "The Swarm" is a good example. We didn't have any lyrics for it, and the song was done. But I needed Melissa to know the melody. So it was hot out, and
we wanted ice cream.
And everybody had decided they wanted ice cream. So just to come up for syncopation and syllables and notes, I had kind of composed this interesting little song about ice cream. Rocky Road in Haagen-Dazs and put some in my waffle cone.
And he had me sing it like that.
It's gonna be a hunting tonight. So I kind of had this thing, and then before there were any lyrics, weeks before, she was singing about ice cream. Yeah. So The Swarm was actually a song about ice cream, and somebody had found the lyrics later on, and it was our wardrobe lady, and she's kind of reading this. She goes, "What is this? Is this a song or something?" And we were tracking The Swarm, and she was kind of singing the ice cream jingle to it. And I said, strangely enough, that's what it is. It's The Swarm. And so that's the story with that. But it all starts with folk guitar. And then, we don't ever turn the distortion up. It's always room level, so we can have a conversation and talk about it. And then, then it gets metal.
Okay.
Ultimately, if it sounds too hokey, we'll metal it up.
And so recording guitar with Will is very interesting because no matter how well you know the song, when you come in and you've been practicing what you're gonna do and you sit down, he just wants you to make all new parts and make it more, so you think you're going in and you're gonna do some chugga-chugs, but he's let's do some little fancy stuff here. We'll do some nice tasty stuff here.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna come in and do some chugga-chugs, and now we're writing and recording on the DAW.
Yeah, there's always surprises.
There's always improvising.
Yeah. Even with The Swarm, one thing that was really cool about that particular song is you had it one way where I was playing it a certain way, and then Cam came in and was like, "Hey, what if you made it a little more groovy?" So it was
a little
really
more sexy.
Yeah. It was yeah. It was really cool getting both their brains on it and seeing how they want it done, and it made my job a hell of a lot easier because it's like, okay, I could do it one way like this and then one way like that, and so I kind of flip-flop between the two when I play it live.
I think a lot of metal bands, the writing's different, and Cam might be, because these guys have all been in different metal bands before. Our writing process is a little bit different in the sense of, I think there's a lot of creative wiggle room.
Yeah.
You just got to know where it finds, where like a lot of bands would be like, oh, fucking here's the tab, or you better not, or, there really is a lot of wiggle room, but it's gaining a relationship with the music, I think, first. And one thing that a lot of metal bands today don't have are singers.
Singing.
Yeah, people don't do a lot of that.
So we write our music so someone can sing it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different, as far as when the dramatic parts, or what's dramatic, or what timbres,
There's
or
like
intensities.
A leading vocal melody.
Right, and because we do harmony vocals, sometimes I'll pull a little bit of the front, you know what I'm saying, and we'll pass the baton sometimes, depending on what kind of structure to reinforce each other, give us those breaths.
Oh, yeah.
Allow for good screams.
Everybody
So it's really
part.
it's really cognitive. It's really cerebral, kind of the way that we put it. So and then it's written so everyone gets a break too. If you really listen to the music, at one time or another, something is being showcased. So and when you give it another spin, as we hope you do, you're gonna pick up on this. But most of our melodies are driven by Melissa. Whereas a lot of modern metal, a lot of melodies, it's really guitar music. And we don't zap out on the guitar. We just find a sweet place for it.
Yeah. Like, because
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Other bands I've been in, I was just going to say that is guitar usually starts with a lot of bands, but the difference between this band and other bands is most guitarists write a money riff in most metal bands, and then everyone needs to dance around the money riff and figure out what they're gonna do instead of a melodic vocal.
Right.
From a beautiful.
So a lot, right, and so a lot of time, no, for real, a lot of times, most bands will be forced to go and run for a new arrangement during that piece of composition. Where we can hold a note a little longer. Melissa can take the melody part, and it's still, and the characteristics of the song can still be shaped differently. So what a lot of bands will have to try to do to be creative, we don't have to force your creativity. We can keep one leg into what we've always done, you know what I'm saying, and then another leg into the unknown. And you know what I mean? And that and having that structure has always been pretty successful for us.
One thing
I think people forget that music is art still, and if you're not able to evolve with it and kind of let it breathe and move while you're doing it, then it's.
Steve, I respect the math stuff. I respect Bach and Chopin, but fans, you know, a lot of fans don't want to go to school, man. Like, they don't want to go to Berkeley, bro. They want to fucking dance. They want to dance. They want to fuck. They want to drink. They want to party. They want to drive. They want to feel. They want to cry. They want to scream. That's what we're here for. We're in human resources. You know what I mean? So, you know, if they want to learn math, and they can go to, you know, Meshuggah. You know what I mean? But Sepsiss is, like I said, we're here to create new listeners to metal and bring in new people. We're not here to educate people. We write about everything and nothing. No fucking politics, black people, fat people, girls. We don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying? We're a variety band, so we love everybody. You know, working with a lot of genres. I think that culturally, we're versatile to create new listeners. So we don't try to make educational music. We leave but we have enough technicality and intelligence in the music where if you're a musician, you can really learn to respect it. You know, so it's you know, it's not watered down or, you know, ultimately, you know, too commercial. But I think that in today's world, I think you can make music that sells out seats. I think that you can do that, and I don't think that you have to do that with fucking up the integrity of the culture. I don't believe that. I think that's something that bands you mentioned before come in looking or trying to sound like someone else. I turn all of that off when we write, and that, you know, when we kind of just isolate ourselves and come up with what we really feel is important, or, you know, was needed. So a lot of people might sit down and go, what's technical or what's flashy or what would impress another musician? I go, what's gonna make people dance? What's gonna make, you know, what's gonna make people smile?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes just a note. You know, people go, we're not doing anything fancy. You're just playing the right note. You know.
I know for me, you know, my YouTube channel is kind of a journey for me too into rock and metal and discovering things. And too often I come across things that it's like starts out with the same, you know, drums and the guitar riff and everything, and it's hard to differentiate.
It's awfully safe.
Yeah. So when a band comes along that's doing something different, something that has a little bit of, you know, soul or heart to it, or just creativity that you can see, you know, that's what makes me stop and listen. So I know I'm not alone. I think there are a lot of fans out there who are looking for that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some people think it's gross, like 8%. But nobody else. But like 8% of really angry motherfuckers don't like it. Yeah, and most of the time it's people that don't like black people, that had a girlfriend that looked like Melissa in high school that dumped the shit out of them. But normally it's these angry metal. I'm so metal.
They don't like me and Will. They don't like that me and Will don't tap more on the album.
Look, I'm here for I'm here for pussy and pizza. So I'm here to dance. You know what I mean? I'm here to have a good time.
Metal or not metal enough, depending on who you are.
But that's honestly 8%. 8%. That's, I mean, analytically 8%. Most people have a good time. They understand what it is. We don't try to make music that's not comprehensive. I think some instrumentals like, how can we make the most fucking confusing, unsellable shit possible? I mean, if that was the case, everybody would be listening to fucking Tchaikovsky.
Yeah. And you'd be headbanging like this.
I'm not here for a fucking paycheck necessarily, but I need, you know what I mean? A guy's got to pull a tooth every now and then, or, you know what I'm saying, get some gas. So, I mean, but ultimately, no one's here to really make $1 million. We really want to be here. We really want to create the music that we love, you know? So, and that's why it's so hard to do it.
You can definitely hear the difference in bands that are out for it for the money and bands that are, you know, they love the music. So,
but don't get me wrong. These guys will tell you I'm an advertisement marketing psychopath. You know what I mean? Like that.
Well,
you know, I don't.
It's.
I
Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
It's kind of cool, even just like being part of it. Like we kind of all work like dogs, except you and Melissa obviously get most of the bulk because you've been carrying it for 10, 11 years. But at the same time,
we have so much help, Steve. That's gross. I mean, really, like it'll make you puke. We have so many great people. We could not do this without the people braiding.
Oh yeah.
And people picking shit up.
Staff is so important.
I mean, these people aren't paid, man. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe a small few sometimes. You know what I mean? But these people aren't on a salary. These people tour with us. They make sure we're fed. They make sure we get water. Make sure that we're comfortable. You know, big shout out. 434 Management is our managers. Them, Lisa and John and all them over there. Derek, Paul from Saliva, shout out.
Absolutely.
Our manager, Paul Crosby from Saliva. He's on the road right now. We'll be seeing him in a couple weeks, hanging out. He's one of our managers at 434. And that whole team does a great job for us. Our publicist coming out when we didn't drop the album. When we uplifted the album.
Still pushing it.
Right. When we did, our publicist.
Great.
Yeah, great, literally. People. But really everybody and nothing. Glenn Robinson, Annihilator, Gore, Queensryche. That's our engineer. Not honestly, like we made some really beautiful demos, and without being able to do that, me and Mr. Goodbarz putting that together every day. Melissa working hard on it. We got really close, but without that guy pushing us over the top and making that loud. I mean, we had the recordings, but Glenn Robinson.
He really pushed it.
We were on a Walmart budget over here, and Glenn Robinson flew down from the heavens and just picked the project up. He loved it so much.
He was willing to work with us.
And that's near and dear to me because that means it was good enough for him to love, And when he sent me the email like, "Hey, it's Glenn Robinson," I was nominated for a Grammy. I thought he was lying and shit. I said, "Go fuck yourself," Nice try, asshole, or something. Not something like that.
In all fairness,
let me get Melissa's number. You know what I mean?
There
like,
were
hey, I'm
tons
Glenn
of
Robinson.
There were
I'm
tons
like,
of people sending
and there was
emails
at the
trying to
time.
mix you.
At the time, everybody was everybody.
Yeah.
And this one goes, "Hey, Melissa, it's Glenn Robinson." And I think I got the email.
It's like, who are you? Right?
And I was like, "Yeah, right. It's another stalker." And he goes, "No, seriously, it's Glenn fucking Robinson." I said, "Bro, get the fuck out of here." But it was, you know what I mean? And that's what you hear. That's a big EP, front to back, being our first EP. That 8% can choke on a dick because I love that record. Even if nobody listened to it, just as an accomplishment, you know what I'm saying, as a personal place, me and Melissa working so hard for all these years, if that's all that it ever was, I'd be all right with it. Because, you know what I mean, I really like the album. I really do.
Just gonna grab it.
John, where you going? You're not going
Right
anywhere.
here.
Oh. Oh, man, he's got one, man.
Yeah.
There it is.
Steve, you know what's funny? You got one and he doesn't.
That's why. What you talking
I'll
about?
just play with you.
That's honestly one of my, not even to sound narcissistic, but that's literally one of my favorite albums to play whenever I'm pulling up. Like,
it seems like such a dick bag thing to say, but I don't listen to my music often. But when I do hear it, I'm like, man, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Not, yeah, but then I feel guilty for liking it. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm presenting it to somebody, I try not to like it too much. Is that appropriate? No.
I mean,
It's very appropriate.
I think it's like a dirty little secret. Every band loves their own music to some degree. Otherwise, I mean, I'm sure some bands put out an album every now and again where the label was pressing them to do one, and they're like, this is really shitty. But you know,
I don't ever want one of those.
Yeah, please no.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
I've had friends that put out albums they don't like, and I'm like, the
That
internet's
sucks.
forever.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And like Sepsiss is fucked because like we have a knowledge graft. Like we can't avoid this shit. You know what I'm saying? There's press people and knowledge graphs and people that write about us and all this shit. There's not, you can't even stop it. So much for that 8%. No, you just gotta stay tight. You know, stay tight. And you know, that 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing is the place that sparks creativity. You know, a no fear kind of attitude towards playing music that you really like. You know?
Well, speaking about liking your own songs, I guess if you guys could all just tell me maybe what your personal favorite from Bad Blood is.
Sky's
Oh,
falling.
that's a hard choice.
I know.
I'm a Sky man.
Sky.
Okay.
I won that once.
I have to pick one?
Yeah.
It's so hard
Yeah,
to pick
one.
one. I don't know, I guess Swarm. It's probably the most
Really?
swing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see that one.
Wow.
Just
I tend to change, so if you ask me this again,
I change all the time, so that's why it's so hard for me to pick.
if you ask me again,
You know?
right now it's a landslide on Falling Unloved.
Okay.
And I think, but that's because it's not in our summer tour set,
Yeah.
so we're not playing it right now. So now I want to play it all the
I
time.
don't know. If we're talking about actually playing it live, I might go Blacklight.
Live's a whole different thing.
Live is hard.
That's
Yeah.
a different question.
Yeah.
That's a whole different question.
With that, I have to go with Eyes.
Eyes of Empathy's
That's
good for
probably one of my
you,
favorite
but I gotta
songs
do
to
that
play live.
fucking solo.
I know.
So I don't like every
That's
time
my
we come to
favorite
that solo,
part,
I'm
though,
terrified.
because-
There's nothing that we do on stage that I'm scared about until then.
Until the
Yeah.
So
turkey
tomorrow
level.
night, when we're doing the Dave Ellefson part, and when they're doing the show and that part comes up, 100% know that I'm nervous.
I got your back.
All right,
I'm gonna be right there with you.
right on.
We'll do the
All
back.
right.
back
I have like 2 more easy questions, and then I'll let you guys get out of here. Number one, I guess most importantly, what's next? What's happening over the next couple of months for the band?
Well, we got
Oh
Dave
my God.
Ellefson tomorrow at
Yeah.
Fet Music Hall.
So much.
So many shows and touring. We're planning on some music videos as well.
There's 2 more music videos
Yeah.
before. Okay, so this is everything before the first. So before the first of the year.
Okay.
3 more music videos. Right now the shows aren't stopping. The tour,
It's huge.
the campaign for Bad Blood is November. So up until then, we're all over the United States. Those keep filling in. We kind of like to keep it where it's at, just for the sake of management. But from what I understand, there's a lot more coming in, and it's only going to get bigger. It might be a lot bigger than we had thought. But we're prepared for that as well. We got to record after November. We got to record. We want to get this full length done. But depending on what's up for shows and really where they want us, opportunistically, if it was good, we'll keep it moving. I like to keep a show a month just to stay hot, on the stage. It feels good. But we're the type of band, we'll grab an open mic or a pop-up show somewhere.
If we need to practice.
And it's cool because we just show up and people go crazy when we show up because they don't expect us being there, and then it generates some kind of cool PR.
We just did
sometimes.
a cool little acoustic show, actually.
It was fucking amazing,
Yeah,
actually. Yeah.
that was fun.
It was pretty heavy. But there's that. So if you go look on our tour dates anywhere, but especially on Facebook or sepsiss.com, we have handfuls of shows just piling in. The big ones, Wave Breakers. It's our baby. We do it every year. Wave Breakers meaning scene breakers, crushing the scene, crushing the everyday
wave.
traditional. It's a show that's designed for unsigned bands, indie bands with pro features, bands that come with professional type features, professional stage,
That work hard, like
that work
we do,
hard.
too.
You know, bands that draw, bands with fans. We didn't talk a lot about that today, but our fans are everything. So we're a band that lives on our fan base, you know, and we do it for them. So, and of course, tomorrow night, Dave Ellefson, Megadeth. Show's sold out. Box office is closed, but if you know, you might still be able to catch us the following week with Puddle of Mud.
Big Kahuna.
At the Big Kahuna in Rhode Island. And then we're off to Ohio. The following week we'll be in Toledo. And then we're coming back and we're going up to Maine.
Yep, Lebanon.
Lebanon, Maine. For it's like a 420 fest, legal Maine. I'll smoke shitloads of weed and play heavy metal. Our label mate style management people will be up there too. Alloy, another band we're touring with, 16 by 20. Other people are gonna be there too. Dead Harrison's gonna be at Wave Breakers.
Yeah.
This is like a million.
There's
it's
too
incredible.
many bands to list.
It's
honestly.
incredible, and yeah,
Talks
I
to the
can't
waves.
tell you I can't tell you the endorsers for Wave Breakers, but they're all big adult companies. As you know, Melissa's an alternative model, and we lock it down over there too. So we got some big adult companies coming in supporting that. It's gonna be huge. So
I
It's
see
gonna be
you
fun.
flying in too.
yeah, and also the video game community is gonna be flying in all over the country. It's crazy. Hampton Beach, go check it out. August 24th, if you're in the New England area.
Nice, nice. All right, last question to get you out of here on. Everybody can answer this one. It's kind of fun. What are you listening to personally right now? Like, if I was to invade your space, what would you be listening to?
What do you guys? You guys got something?
I've been
I
listening
know.
to a lot of Rob Zombie because Will showed me Pussy Liquor the other day, and I've been getting back into Dracula and.
Can this be any genre?
It's gotta be.
Alright. Okay, a few would be like Unlocking the Truth.
Ooh,
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Nice. have you checked them out? Go check them out.
Okay.
And just to be silly, Ariana Grande.
That's
lately. I had to say it. Alright.
That's okay. For me, a lot non-stop reggae, but
Lots of reggae.
but specifically Al Di Meola. I've been listening to like Al Di Meola non-stop.
Ever since you found out you could play.
Ever since I figured out that I can play like Al Di Meola, now I just play like that. And a lot of Django Reinhardt, because I can play like him. That's the only reason why I'm listening to them, because I can play like that.
Honestly, I've been finding myself listening to a lot of Blue Oyster Cult
Oh, okay.
and Heart for the top two.
Salute to Hart.
Hearts.
Big inspiration of ours.
Yes.
Big
They're so
inspiration of
great.
ours.
I think they're definitely an underrated band. They have some.
With all the hits I've been finding out, I'm like, oh my god, Heart does this song. I honestly misjudged them.
Super talent.
Yeah.
Super talent.
Absolutely.
Music that's playable today.
Yeah.
Love that. There's no time on that. None. There's no time limit on that. Cam, what are you listening to?
Well, you got me on Rob Zombie, but
That's it? That's all you got?
No, like I always fuck with the Beatles. Triumph. I've been listening to a lot of Triumph too. Rick Emmett's an amazing guitar player. If you haven't listened to Triumph, Never Surrender is a great album from the 80s that kind of slipped away. Didn't get like Bon Jovi big, even though it's way better than Bon Jovi.
I was listening to some Wu-Tang yesterday.
Right.
I wonder is that an Ice Cube shirt you've got on there?
You bet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Shout out to my brother Chris Daw, our drummer. He got me this. Yep.
Nice. I like it. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, and I'm definitely looking to meet up with you guys at some point. Maybe catch a show, something like that.
A must.
You have to,
Yeah.
man. That'd be
Please.
awesome.
Some of New England is my old stomping ground, so you never know when I'll be up. I'm going to be up that way a couple times toward the end of the year, so we'll see what happens.
That's
100%. We got an office in Nashua. We'll buy you lunch.
Stop on by.
Nice. Well, thanks again. I know everybody is going to enjoy watching this, and I'm going to leave all the links below here to direct everybody to all your sites and your music, and hopefully some more people start enjoying it. I love it, and I think they will too. So again, thank you. And everybody, sepsis.
Peace out, y'all.